Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a Scaramouche Listener by me. And before we get started, I just want to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel because it's really important because someone told me they'll be getting me a gift once I hit 20k subs. And I'm just really curious on what the gift will be, so yeah, help me out and help me reach my goal before the year ends. Thanks, and with that said, let's get started. You and Skira work together for about 2 years now. Your relationship was meant to be professional, and only professional. But for you and Scaramouche, it was getting hard, and that line between professional and being friends, it was quickly starting to blur. And if anything, it was quite exhausting. Trying to keep up appearances, trying to stay far away from the other, just because you're meant to be. Just because he was a harbinger and you're merely just a fatuous. You weren't meant to be with someone like him. And he didn't seem to be the person to actually be in a relationship at all. So to be honest, it was only fair you thought that it wouldn't be happening at all. And Scaramouche thought the same, just for different reasons. Scaramouche has been a puppet for as long as he knows. No matter how many times he tried to defy that, no matter how hard he's trying to defy it now, deep inside, he knows he can't be human or act like the rest of the humans in a way that would make you love him. He wasn't normal. He could try at anything except human emotions. At that, he knew he would be quite terrible, and there was no reason to try at all. So that's why, when the two of you were assigned the mission together, Scaramouche was more than surprised. Because you, him, the same mission? There was a huge difference between your abilities, and he was definitely more than capable of doing it by himself. But apparently he needed to be sneakier this time, and you could help him with that, so that's why you were paired up. To be honest, he wanted to be the furthest away from you, but it seemed like that wasn't an option. He wondered if the universe hated him, before he obviously knew that the answer was yes. Obviously, he knew that way before, but that was more of a confirmation, if anything. He was angry because he didn't want to put up with you. Not because he hated you, but because he knew that you would be just something to make him lag behind. And honestly, he was tired of having to hide his affections, so being closer with you was only an obstacle, and really wasn't helping him focus on his mission. So, with the two of you having to exchange awkward glances and just journey around, as you looked around for your target, you told him to stop because you thought you saw something. And of course, after a lot of objections from him, he ended up begrudgingly waiting, as you said, staying behind while you went to venture into a house. It looked abandoned. That's just from the looks of it. But it turns out there was someone inside. Someone powerful too. And you couldn't get a word out before they had knocked you out. And after Scaramouche waited for 5 minutes and went in just to see where you disappeared and didn't find you, he was terrified for a moment before he became enraged quickly, going on a rampage and trying to look for you anywhere. When he found you, it was on a random street. No one around. Just you. And it seemed like you were mugged, sort of. Because everything that you had with you was now gone. But even worse, you were terribly injured. And that's when all of those walls that he had built up, they were all down as he scrambled to your side, holding you close to him and begging you to wake up. Scaramouche couldn't realize that you were in fact breathing and alive, because just seeing you like this, it made all the alarms in his head go off, and it brought him back, years ago, when he had lost his friend. He cried over you, holding your body close to him, and begging you over and over to just wake up, to not leave him. And surprise, surprise, your eyes opened, much to his wishes and his own demise, because you'd probably heard a lot of what he had said. Scaramouche, he whispered, your voice exhausted. He just shushed you gently, picking you up and pressing you close to his chest, kissing your forehead, and hoping that you'll forget. I'm taking you to a hospital now. Just stay quiet, and we'll get through this. Stay awake, yeah? Don't close your eyes. Please. Scaramouche has never begged in his life, and he's never said please either. But he changed most of these things, and we took you to a hospital and waited for you. It was only 2 hours later when the doctor came out, telling him that you'll be just fine and there was nothing wrong with you. And that's when. So, can I stay with her? He asked, not wanting to be apart from you. And that's when he got the answer. No, you can't. Only immediate family members are allowed. Or, are you her partner? Oh God. This was the only thing that Scaramouche couldn't be. But at this moment, it seemed like it was the only answer that he would be able to give just to go in with you. He didn't pass our family member for sure. So that's when he mumbled quietly. Yeah, I'm her boyfriend. Could you let me in? He said, and the doctor nodded, letting him into your room. And quickly, he sat next to you, ignoring the blush on his own cheeks and acting like it was nothing. And when you ask him what happened or what was going on outside, he ignores you completely, just glad that you're awake and that you're okay. And when the nurse comes to tease you about your beautiful boyfriend, and you're startled, trying to say that he was not in fact your boyfriend, shushes you immediately, giving you a look, even though his cheeks are bright red, and you have to hold yourself back from laughing, but also from freaking out as well, because you're blushing now too. Your boyfriend? And he seemed serious about it too. He was really taking that job seriously. And it seemed like he just wanted to prove to her that nothing was wrong. And that's why he bent down, pressing a soft kiss to your forehead, and telling her that truly he is the lucky one to have you, since you were so wonderful. And by the time the nurse walks out, the two of you knew that for certain you'd have a lot to talk about. But one thing for sure was that you and Scaramouche were no longer going to be just friends. You're going to be something more, way more.